everybody. And we have a guest here today. His name is Akash. I've known him for quite some time now, and we both follow the same guru. So the reason why I'm going live today is just for several announcements and to begin making constant videos on a consistent basis. I just want to give my gratitude and my love to all the support out there. I never really had this amount of an audience or this amount of people before when it comes to any kind of spirituality, but it seems like everyone in the world is just, more hungry than ever for information, and they're getting more curious and they're asking more questions. So, without further ado, let us begin. So, some of the things that we wanted to speak about today was pretty much, why vegetarian food, why vegan food. Lots of times, that's one of the areas that a person tends to step on upon. That's what one of the things they end up discovering when they, wake up or when they find out about spirituality or anything else. So that's one of the things I wanted to cover today because for some people, it can be an easy transition. For a few other people, they tend to find it hard. And sometimes they tend to find it hard because they don't really see the bigger goal of going vegan or going vegetarian. They're only looking at it as a lifestyle, and it became like a brand in society where it's either you're vegan, you're vegetarian, you're this, you're that, and without remembering the real context of why vegetarian food, why vegan food. So one of the things um, that I learned, and we're gonna also, have Akash speak on how he found about vegan food and vegetarian food when he became vegan and everything. For me, it was a really it wasn't really a requirement for me to eat animals. And yeah, we're just gonna speak straight here. We're not gonna like call it meat and all those things. We're just calling it animals. Like there was never a need for me to eat animals when it came to before being with my guru.
Well, for me, indeed, it came as well as one of the first changes I wanted to make once I started walking the spiritual path. Um, Basically, the same for me as it was for you. I didn't want to eat animals, so that was an easy change for me. Um, what is a bit more challenging at times is it can be quite overwhelming to make, all the changes and find the right products. Um, um, you know, uh, for instance, dairy products. I know in Ayurveda it's mentioned. Yes,
Was the local markets or like stores near you, were they capable of fulfilling that need of needing to, where they had everything that was provided for you to be able to make the transition?
yeah. Well, I was lucky at the time because I worked in organic store. So for me it was I had quite easy access to all the products I needed. So yeah, that was lucky. And in the Netherlands, it's where I live. It's quite easy to get your products, at least in the cities. I'm
Okay.
not sure how it is
Are
in the States or.
how about the rest of your family? Are any of them vegan or vegetarian? And how were they? Was there some kind of reaction or was there some kind of comment or something when it came to you switching your lifestyle?
Yeah, there were comments. Well, thank God, my parents, they always supported me, even though they didn't go vegetarian. Only in their last couple of years of my mother's life, she changed to vegetarian. Um, but they supported me, so that was quite easy. But I know of friends where it's a bit more tough, where the families are really, meat eating families, so to speak. When someone wants to change, that's where I heard, it can be tough for them to, stand their ground and um, explain why they do it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, what was really, you just really didn't have it was never really an interest. It was something that just kind of like grew off of you. right? Like kind of like got old over time, where you just got tired of eating
Yeah.
animals. It was
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Absolutely.
To me, it was also pretty easy. Like when I cooked, I also cooked vegetarian food also. And I actually, this will be for another video about like the beginning of the spiritual journey and the things that you could encounter. But prior to waking up, I had to, learn how to cook, which I
Mm.
didn't really do to that kind of extent, other than like throwing a salad together where you like put things together.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even when I was like vegetarian or vegan. That was just a typical day. Um, but some of the things that people need to understand is that there's more to it than just not eating animals and for the lives of the animals and for our health. Because we are also consciousness. There's also karma. There's also things that we're ingesting that is not only physical.
Mm.
At that point, it's also metaphysical, spiritual, karmically, uh, lifetimes. You know, it's something that
Mm.
you need to understand, that you're doing more than what you think you're doing when you decide to eat animals. Plants, people would say, and I've gotten this before. I've gotten this before, even from people, mentors that used to be teachers and mentors to me, many many years ago. That would say, "Oh well, they have pain too. So what's different? They have pain too, and
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not." And I'm just like, well, it's different because plants are also life, but they
Mm.
haven't developed the bio memory where the pain is stored and gets inside your system and create pain. So if you consume them, there is no pain going on inside your system along with it. But with
Mm.
the animal, the muscles have the capacity to store muscle memory and biomemory. So when the animal gets killed, they leave a tremendous amount of pain and suffering, which gets recorded in the muscle memory and biomemory. And
Mm.
when you eat that, you will also fall into depression for a small reason, you know, uh, for any kind of reason.
Mm.
And people, might think that, oh, they have a mood swing, this and that, or I just have a headache, or I'm just feeling like this, or maybe it's my cycle, and all these different excuses of why, like it's a lifestyle for some people to
Mm.
have a headache every month. I remember I used to have like night sweats. I used to have headaches. It was normal. Oh, I got a cold. Okay, I'll go and sleep it off. Oh, I have a headache. Okay, I'll sleep it off. Just sleeping the life away. Um, and the very reason why you would be so quick to fall into depression is because your bio memory is prone to depression. So when I mention bio memory,
Mm.
bio
Muscle
energy,
memory.
and muscle energy and muscle memory, just a little advanced information here for everyone. I don't want to confuse anyone and get anyone off track. I'm trying to go in order as fast as possible here so people don't get confused. Um, Muscle memory and bio energy. So bioenergy and memory is like your blood. It's the Shakti, the energy inside your body, and it's also your blood. And your bioenergy comes, and bio memory comes from your mother. Your muscle memory, which is your muscles. Okay. For example, you uh, burning that muscle or that skin, or you get punctured on your arm and you start bleeding. All of that is where pain is stored. That is the muscle memory, which is what
Mm.
you're eating if you're not vegan or vegetarian. All that gets stored in your muscle memory. So when you're eating the dead animal's flesh, you're also eating the muscle memory, and then you're eating the bio memory that's recorded in it, and that becomes a part of you, and you become prone to that pain. And that is why I tell so many of you to become vegetarian, to become vegan. And you need to understand something. For us Hindus, both of us being practicing living Hindus, vegetarian, just listen to the name vegetarian. It's vegetables. It's not vegetarian but eggs, feces, not like feces, it's like eggs are like so many different things, but eggs
Yeah.
and
But
fish. Vegetarian means vegetables only. Doesn't mean, okay, some animals are okay to eat and some animals are not okay to eat, and we're still
mm,
loving dogs and cats only.
exactly. Yeah.
While
Yeah.
in China and Japan, they're eating dogs like anything,
Yeah.
in the street, burn them alive.
Yeah.
So
seen that.
But
Yeah,
again, it's no different from getting the uh, animals from the meat industry that's in the US or in anywhere else.
yeah,
It's no different, whether it's being done publicly, and there's like fundraisers and all these things being done for the dogs over there. But then what about the ones that's being done privately? So as long as you're not witnessing it, you're okay with it. It doesn't make any
mm,
sense.
no,
So
no,
even if you are a seeker, without vegetarian lifestyle, you will not achieve anything. And vegetarian lifestyle is a basic need when it comes to your spiritual growth. Not only vegetarian lifestyle, not eating anything grown out of chemicals, pesticides, and fertilizers. Try to become more and more organic because chemicals create a toxic mental setup in your system.
yeah,
And this is, you know, this is the truth. Just try to become more and more natural, organic consumer when you're going to the stores. Even start your own garden. This frost is just coming, the frost that kills the plants. So right now it's not a great time to do that, but at least set up the ground, set up what's needed so that then when the following year comes, you can build your own garden. I did it from scratch. It's on my Facebook. If you look at some of my uh, beginning videos, I was going live and I was showing you guys like how I build my garden and like tips on building the garden, which is really simple. You only need a few things. It's very inexpensive. You need a little muscle, do some groundwork, but then once you put the seeds, you're able to put anything and just grow it, and it's amazing.
you started doing that right away, or?
Yeah, Swamiji says start growing your own food. So
Mm,
then I tore up my ground and made my own food. Like I literally, it's like a regular. We live in a mountain, so like mountain kind of. So it's like just regular background.
brilliant.
Start tearing up the ground with the. I didn't even have a shovel. I had like a pitchfork, but it's like a
Yeah,
very strong metal pitchfork, and I'm just like beating the ground from one end to the other end, and then after that, I got some cow manure, and I started just mixing that in the ground. Then there was my mother's friend coworker who went ahead and got some uh, vegetables in her garden and herbs. She brought it over. I transplanted them there. I grew corn. I'm still growing tomatoes. I'm growing 15 okras. I have 5, 6 tomato plants. I have so many tomatoes, cucumbers, string beans, so many radishes, uh, peppermint, or is it spearmint? Spearmint, I think. Basil, such huge basil, uh, cilantro,
brilliant.
sugar snap peas, so many delicious food. And I couldn't eat it all myself, and whatever I couldn't blend because I am a Nirahari, I go ahead and I give it to my family eats whatever they don't eat because they still buy groceries at the store. I go to give it to my neighbors and give it to whoever else.
Yeah, you're in
But
a hurry. You want to talk about more in this,
yeah,
or
I'll
or
separate
later on in the
video.
next one?
I
That's
will
another.
talk about. We could talk about that next. We'll talk about Nirahara. There's so much we got to tell you guys about. We'll speak about.
Yeah.
Um, but definitely, try to become more and more organic because the
Mm.
chemicals it really creates a toxic mental setup in your system.
What
Uh,
kind of foods, apart from meat, of course, what kind of foods would you suggest to change first? Because, for some people it's difficult to change everything all at once. So what would you prioritize?
if I had to tell them what to start throwing into your garbage right now from your
Mm,
fridge, it would just it would be it would be any animal, honestly. Any animal you have in your fridge and your freezer, throw it out, bury it, burn it, and then you can slowly start with other things. Because I'm sure you have a lot of junk food in your house. It's not organic. It's like processed. Not even food. You can't call it food. It's fake food. It's made in the lab. It's non-GMO. I mean, it's not non-GMO. It's GMO.
mm,
So it's not food you're eating there. And people is like, oh, MSG, MSG. There's MSG in like half of the things that you're consuming also if it's junk food. So, you know, I think I wouldn't really focus first on I would definitely say to throw out the food. But if I had to say what they should start doing as per their eating habits,
mm.
begin eating less. Start with eating less. That actually will do like 50% of the work. Because start eating less, start eating less. Um, only eat once a day. Don't eat 3 times a day and then snack in between. Um, Swamiji says, our guru says that if you want to destroy somebody's life, have them eat 3 times a day. So definitely eat less. At least start with the snacks. Stop snacking all over the place. Don't
Yeah.
be a pig. You're a human being. Be a decent human being. And just don't, your body's not a dumpster. That's all I have to say. Your body's not a dumpster. I think that's fair
That's a
enough,
good.
right?
That's a good one. Yeah,
I'm
it's a
not
good
being too
message.
hard on everyone.
That's a good message. Yeah.
Um, so it is good for your seeking. It's good for your mental health, and it's good for you. And overall,
Mm.
it's good for your enlightenment. Okay. So one of the things, that I want to state out to you guys before we end this live for now is that you guys need to understand that I'm not here to be like very sweet to you guys and everything. I'm naturally, the sweetness is there. Naturally, the friendliness and blissfulness and everything is there. And the love is there, which is why I'm here.
Mm.
But my priority is not going to be to tell you guys, sweet things. Some people on Facebook, they're like, oh, why you're like being mean and this and that. You need to understand something. Are too used. You guys are too used to people telling you sweet, sweet, sweet things, and then getting
Yeah.
screwed over.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not here to screw you over. I'm here to tell you as it is. And if you don't like it, you don't have to be on this profile. You're on this profile for a reason, right? Because you're waking up.
Mm.
So wake up to the harsh reality. It's not a harsh reality, but for you guys, it might be like, oh, he's saying this, he's saying that, or listen, I'm only here to do good for you guys. It's been my life mission, life goal for so long now, since the 12 12 12 shift happened and I woke up. If you look at my YouTube video, you'll see videos from years back, 2013, 14, me talking about crystals and all, just
Mm.
trying to share whatever I was gaining at the time. And now I'm fully developed where, with the training and everything, where I can give all this information out to you guys now. Okay. So, Akash, is there anything else that you would like to say to the viewers here before we end the live stream for today?
Yeah. Just I would say just changes you make, just don't get overwhelmed. Because sometimes I felt overwhelmed because I wanted to change everything at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then found out, yeah, that's not going to work. It's just going to cause stress. At least did for me. I mean, some people might say, I can do the change. I can change it all at once. I wasn't that kind of guy. I need just pace it and find my way in it. So don't get overwhelmed. You're on your way. I think that's good to know. You're on your way, and step by step. That would be my suggestion.
That sounds great. You guys heard it here from Akash himself. So we're going to be getting off now. Please like and share, comment, share it to for people who are thinking about becoming vegan and did not make their decision yet. We're going to be coming with more videos. I don't know how frequently. It could be weekly, it could be daily. I don't know. But keep a lookout. It's going to be posted on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube watching this, please like and subscribe, comment down below, and tell me, are you the person who's watching this right now?